Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Asher, and thank you for joining me for another episode of the Steam Shuffle. Today we are looking at Grenade Madness. It is an early access game that has been developed by Touch Orchestra, and it just hit Steam on April 15th, so we're going to take a quick look at it. Grenade Madness is a third-person multiplayer game where your main weapon is a grenade launcher. There are multiple types of grenade launchers. Disclaimer, or just a kind of a heads up, and it's an issue that the developers are aware of. But if you use Avast antivirus software, then you will not be able to launch this game. In fact, it will lock up your Steam client, and when you try to exit and resume your Steam client, it will still say that it's running. It does require an entire hard reset to clear that. So kind of a big issue for those who do use Avast. All you have to do is disable it and it'll work just fine. But other than that, that's the only critical bug that I've found thus far. Just a quick look at the options. They're fairly basic. You've got your quality, your resolution, and your full screen. That's it for video options. Your sound has kind of it's not your fully adjustable slider. It's just different levels. Kind of one of my pet peeves. I like having full sliders myself, but that's neither here nor there. It's not a big issue, but we've got your mouse sensitivity. Your keyboard is fully rebindable. The gamepad, from what I understand, is also fully rebindable, but I have not played this with the gamepad at all. And then your profile is simply your name and the skin of your robot. So, again, early access title, work in progress. A whole lot of stuff is to be added to this later, so keep that in mind when we kind of go through this. But you do have your robot there to the right corner where you see he kind of has like a baseball looking crotch and the red eye. That's the color that you can change. You just change that to green, yellow, red, or blue. And then your charts here, it just shows your Steam ranking on the global charts. Not too many people are playing this right now, so I'm actually ranked 5 on the whole Steam chart, so that's kind of cool. I've never been that high on a leaderboard before. And if you go to play now, those are the servers that are available right now. So I've actually had early access to this before it was in early access on Steam, and that hasn't really changed. So hopefully a few more people will pick it up. Your missions here, it's not like a mission mode. This is your achievements, more or less. Just your progress on those achievements. There is no level up system in this, though. Well, there is. The only thing it really does is unlock additional items as you go through. So we're going to play now. I don't have the create game. I don't have anyone else to actually really show it off, so we're going to have to just go in with bots, which are really, really easy. Like, the AI on them is pretty straightforward. Quite a few maps you got going on already, though. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 maps. However, only one of them is max player 8, and I have found that is actually the most fun when there's 8 bots running around. The 4 one gets kind of bland, so we're going to play it out on Cage here. Allow bots in game, and these are your mutators. This is the other thing you unlock when you start leveling up. So the higher I get, I'll be able to unlock a few more of these, and there's going to be more of these added later. We've only got the 4 in right now, as well as more maps, more customization options, all that good stuff. So this is just kind of a sneak peek, just a quick look as the base of what we have here. So I'll jump in. I'm going to go ahead and enable just the one mod. Here are your weapons that are available as of right now. You have your sticky grenade launcher that you start out with, your crate gun, which is a fairly unique weapon. It's instantaneously will put a crate in front of you. You've got your frag grenade launcher, pretty self-explanatory. Flash grenade launcher, also pretty self-explanatory. Smoke grenade launcher, self-explanatory. Explosive barrel gun, I don't know what that one is. That one seems kind of interesting. Laser mine, I'm assuming probably proximity mine-esque. Tesla grenade launcher, most likely it's a shocking, bouncing Betty type of grenade. And your rocket launcher. So I don't have any of those unlocked. I've only got a few thus far. And I'm going to be running the crate gun and just the sticky grenade launcher. You also get a different melee weapon here, the taser, once you unlock that as well. Or you have the knife. Alright, so let's jump in and take a look at the gameplay. So this is where you start out. You start out surrounded by boxes. You have to blow your way out. Very reminiscent of like a Bomberman game. That's kind of the feeling I keep getting from this, is a 3D Bomberman. But you'll see the different enemy bots. It is a free-for-all style. It is not a team deathmatch. Perhaps that will come in the future. And you see the little power-ups that I'm picking up there. You can carry up to 3, and those pop up there. Got Ghost Mode and Grenade Masking. I think Grenade Masking makes it to where they cannot see where my grenade lands, but Ghost is pretty self-explanatory. It is Stealth Mode Engage. Let's pop out that crate gun here that I was talking about, and this can be used to kind of... I got blown up. This can be used to kind of block people in. Well, they're easily dealt with, but it can set up a minor deterrence for them. Granted, I feel like it would be a whole lot more effective if you're playing against actual people. And as of right now, the way things are going, really the only way you're going to get that currently is if you get this with a couple of buddies, which I think this could be a whole lot more fun if you had a few friends running around blowing each other up. The premise of it is very strong. I think there's something special here that, if refined, could actually make a pretty fun arena-esque shooter. Add a few more variety of weapons, things like that, different maps, skins, things like that. Also the mutators. However, and again, I cannot stress this enough, this is early access, so any of this can be subject to change. My personal qualms with it, my biggest complaint would be the speed in which you move. So right now I'm using a power-up that makes me move faster. I feel that that should be the base speed that you move, because now that you see that I don't have it, you move really, really slow. That slows them down, but I'm trying to see if I can get the one that speeds me up, and it feels more like an arena shooter, like your Unreal Tournaments or your Quake Lives. Maybe not quite that fast, but it definitely gives that sense of urgency and actually really ups the fun factor when you're going that fast. If not a permanent increase, perhaps a mutator that simply just activates on the start of the game that just gives every player the speed increase power up, and getting another one would speed you up even further, so it wouldn't be useless. But there you go, time accelerates. This is with the power up. This feels good. This feels like the way it should be. I feel like I can work around corners, and I think if everyone was going this speed, it would make things really interesting. I'm kind of a stickler on pacing of games, in particular shooters. I like fast-paced shooters. I don't like the slow ones because I get really bored, and I like the erratic movements and how chaotic things get in your arena shooters. And that's why I was such a big fan of Advanced Warfare over most other Call of Duties, because how fast-paced it is. Pacing is a huge deal, especially in multiplayer shooter games. I don't think this one's quite got it, but I think it has the potential, because just with the power up I can see how much more fun it would be. The explosions, I think those would be really cool if there was a power up that would actually increase the size of the explosion, like really start blowing stuff up, take out a couple of rows, like Bomberman-esque style. When you get the fire power-ups, your bombs get bigger. Some type of temporary power-up that give you like 3 times the size of a normal explosion and just make you a godless killing machine, as you should be, considering that you are a robot. So that would be pretty cool. And the other really big bugbear that I can think of that I have is the sound that plays when you activate a power-up. So I'm going to kind of stand still here, see if I can get away from some of the explosions. That is a personal opinion. That sounds like a little alarm clock going off, and it's driving me nuts. I almost want to mute the sound because of that one sound effect. If that could be changed to something maybe more like ray gun-ish robot sound, just like a beep or something like that, whatever, just not that infuriating beep, and I'd be cool with it. But that's really the only major things that, for myself, and keep in mind some of this is subjective. I mean, it's my opinion on pacing and sound effects. I mean, that's not really something that's a deal breaker. That's not a big deal. that's just things that I think would improve it for sure. And since it is in early access, this would be the time to share that feedback with developers of the game, because that's what early access is for. It's for shaping things and making it to it's the greatest potential that you can, as long as it doesn't compromise the developer's vision, which I don't think the sound effect would, or perhaps the speed increase. That's why I'm saying make it an option, make it one of the mutators to double everyone's speed. That would be cool, but I can almost guarantee you that that would be a mutator that would be fairly popular. You know, just little things like that. Functionally, the game runs really well. I'm getting the constant 60. It doesn't have many graphics options, so if you're not running it, I mean, you have the one preset, so you should be able to lower that. But it's a very simple concept that I think can be expanded upon quite a bit. I mean, the guys have been working on this for some time, and I was reading that in their community blog that they were doing. By the way, your community forum isn't working very well because your reCAPTCHA is set to admin mode. Just a heads up. But other than that, I mean, it's running very well. That little Avast bug, I'm sure, shouldn't be too terribly difficult to fix. It's an oddly specific bug to find. I mean, that's not one I've ever ran across before in my 600 Steam games that I have, early access or not. I have not ran across one that would crash if I was running my particular brand of antivirus software. So that was interesting. I'm not sure what even would cause that, but I'm not a game developer, so I couldn't tell you. Now, I believe I put it on a 10-minute match. I can say 10 minutes seems to drag on a little bit, especially just going up against bots. I mean, if you look at my score here, I'm dominating. I have 27 kills. The next person closest to me has -4. So bots are really dumb. Really, really dumb. But if you were to actually play with other friends, this could be quite a bit of fun. I will point out something objective here. The knife, the melee attack, which doesn't really make much sense to do in a game about grenade launchers, but the keyframes to actually, the point of impact is really off. It's really hard to land, mainly because of the animation of the robot arm just doesn't extend out very far. So that's really, really difficult to land. Just the size of the knife in general, and then the way you kind of move it to the side there. That's hard to hit with a knife. Honestly, I never used the knife, so it's kind of a minor complaint, but it doesn't bother me because I'm not going to use the thing anyways. I am curious about the rocket launcher, and I like the idea of their mutators. I really do. But I think they should be permanent, because if you were looking at them, they are time-based. It's like at the end of the match, you'll get faster reload speeds and things like that. Make the mutators permanent to make it to where people can kind of customize their game as however they want. And that would really up the fun factor on here. If it could be done, because you see the arc on moving the gun is very minimal. If it could be done, a power-up that could shoot over the walls for 15 seconds, that would be cool. That would be another one of those really, really powerful pickups. Because you see the power-ups are all over the place on the ground here. I think if the bigger ones had the spawn speed of them really reduced, that way they wouldn't be too overpowered. They'd be more balanced. Just little things like that, little tweaks. I mean, this game definitely has potential, and in its current state, I don't really feel like I'm going to give too much more time in it. But it is in early access, so that means that all of this, every suggestion I just made, could very well possibly make it into the game. And personally, I would probably play it quite a bit more. It would make a really nice LAN game. It's a fairly cheap game. They're selling the early access version for $10. It is 10% off right now, making it $9. So not a hard one for everyone to pick up and get a hold of. And I understand this is the devs' very first game from what I can see. And they're actually trying to be quite active in those community forums. And I feel like they're going to listen to a lot of feedback. If people pick this up, there's the end of the round. 37 kills, 8 deaths. Next person's -5 kills. So I wish I could actually show it off with other people and kind of make use of the crate gun and everything. But unfortunately, at this time, that's not really possible. So there you go, guys. Just a quick look at Grenade Madness. Again, available on Steam for $9.99 or your regionally equivalent. Currently in early access and 10% off as of the recording of this video. If you guys like what you see and want to be part of the development process of this early access title, give it a shot and see what you think. See if maybe you disagree with my concerns, or maybe some of your own that you think would make the game better. You know, that's what early access is all about. Let's see what you guys would like to see differently, or if you just like it the way it is. Agree, disagree. Let me know in the comments. Let the developers know, more importantly than myself, what you think would make this game great. Other than that, my name is Asher. Wow, I forgot my own name. And this has been the Steam Shuffle on Grenade Madness. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take it easy.